Hello, hello, mic test, mic test. Hello, hello, mic test, mic test. Hello, hello, mic test, mic test. Can you all hear and see me? Hello, 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 mic test, mic test. Hello, hello, mic test, mic test. Hello, everyone. I am back. Please tell me if you are logged on and your names. Do type, I don't know, Happy NDP 2019 if you can hear me. All right, excellent. Oh, phew. Right, kids, I'm very sorry. The software that I was working with was corrupted, and just as I launched it, the sound just kind of knocked off. But I'm back, and it should be working right now. I'll be starting the slides shortly. Happy NDP, all right, great. So Cheryl can hear me, Sadine can hear me, all right. Everyone else, hope you all can hear me. Let me just very quickly type to everyone, I am back. Do log on and listen in now. Okay, let me get my stream options. Okay, all right, okay, yes. All right, that's great. All right, okay. Let's see if I can get, okay. Let me see. I'm sorry I'm saying okay a lot because I just have to check that everything is working. Okay, and I just want to make sure that I'm able to see myself. I have a screen over on the other side just to check that I'm coming out okay. So if I glance over to the left a little, please don't be too bothered. That's just my other screen to monitor that the feed is live and working well. Okay, right. Let me just detach the chat window. Pop out the chat. All right, very good. Let me minimize the window. Okay, great. Right, great. So I'll be watching the chat here. All right, hi, hello Xavier, Junxian, Jaden, Chloe, Ziting, Cheryl. All right, great. Kaylin is back. Okay, I'm not really sure who is Anthony Ong. Could you please just identify yourself? Because some of you are logged on with your parents' accounts. Okay, Joyce, Sishan, great. All right. Let's see how many people are logged in at the moment. All right, there's more than 10 of you. That's great. Lovely response. Hi, Megan. Welcome. Shaden. Okay, Charlene. That's right. Okay, great. Anthony is Charlene. Charlene is Anthony. Okay, right. Is any of you able to post the link of the video you're currently watching onto this group chat? Hello, Jared. Welcome. Good morning, Chun Hong. Great to see you. Okay. Right, Chun Hong, I hope you can hear me now. I just got your message earlier. You commented on the earlier live stream that you couldn't hear me, but I hope you can. Okay, great. Kaylin, could you post it into the group chat so that the rest can actually get it? And then I'd like to post it on the parents chat as well. So if you can post it here. Yes, perfect. Thank you so much. I think Xavier got that. Okay, let me forward this to your parents. All right. There we go. Great job. Okay. All right. Wonderful. I'm going to begin now. Okay. Let me just very quickly switch over to the slides. Let me get the slideshow started. Let's see if that works. Okay. All right. Wonderful. Okay, I should appear as a little video on the bottom right hand corner of your screen. You should be able to see me, and the slides should be taking up the front of the page. Wonderful. Let me just very quickly check in on your... Okay, very good. I can see you. All right, great. Right, it's okay, Kaylin, the group chat. Okay, no worries, Kaylin. I've already posted it. I forwarded it. Hello, Jancis. Glad you can join us. Great to see you. So we have some participants from out of class, but that's great. We are all here together to learn. Just a couple of ground rules as I'm starting up today's presentation. It's great to greet everyone and say hello. I'll give you all a couple of minutes to do that. But once I start the lesson proper in a few minutes, please focus on the lesson. Try not to interact with each other unless absolutely necessary. I don't want to have to direct your attention back to the slides, okay? So remember, today's main point is to do a quick review of what we covered in Term 3. I'm going to be looking at grammar today. There'll be separate posts later on for more in-depth look at other components, but since our CA2 is coming, there are 2 more teaching days before CA2, and one of those teaching days, remember our secondary school teachers are coming to observe us, so that will be taken up. Therefore, this live stream, so that I can catch up with you and give you a little bit more instruction and answer some of your questions along the way. Okay? Right. So, as I'm going through this video, if you find that I'm going a little too fast, do let me know in the feedback and the chatting pane. Otherwise, you can also watch this video again when I post it on Edmodo and on my YouTube channel as well. So if you've missed it, if you only caught a part of it, or if I was going too fast and you didn't manage to follow, you can watch and review the video again at your own leisure anytime during this long weekend leading up to your CA2s, okay? So context established, ground rules established. Remember, try to minimize interactions unless absolutely necessary. I am going to begin my review. Now, throughout this review, I will be giving you some questions to attempt, and I'd like you to post your answers in the YouTube live chat if possible, right? I'll be giving you some challenges to accomplish, and while you're doing this, you can kind of comment on each other's work and responses, but please, let's respect each other. Let's not have any personal attacks. Let's not have any labels or any negative language that is used to describe our work or each other. And above and beyond all of this, I want to remind everyone, you are not your test score. You are not your right or wrong answer, right? I care for all of you equally, and your worth is not pegged to your performance, okay? But we do want to try to improve our performance and get better at English. That's why we're here. Okay, hello. I'm sorry, again, please identify yourself. Who is Yong Lin Chen, so that I know who I'm chatting with in the live pane. Okay, please identify yourself so that I'm able to respond to you appropriately. Okay, hi Jiashen. Okay, I can see Jiashen. Later, please identify yourself, Yong Lin Chen, whoever that is. Okay, great. Jaden Teo. All right, Jaden. All right, welcome. Let's begin without further ado. Now, today, I'm going to be reviewing and recovering some of the materials that we have examined in Term 3. There'll be a further video on Term 2, but today we're focusing on Term 3, specifically Units 6 and 7. So, space junk and what happens when you laugh, and all the grammar items and synthesis items associated with these 2 units, alright? So if you have any questions along the way, type them in the live chat and I will try to address them at different junctures in the presentation. Okay, so I'm going to begin with a broad review of grammar. And in grammar, there is no rule more pervasive and more important than your subject-verb agreement. And your subject and your verb must agree. Not object-verb, but subject-verb. And we've covered this in Term 1. I just thought to review this. And along with subject-verb agreement, to cover synthesis and tenses as well. Alright? So very quickly, this is what we're going to be talking about today. I should take about an hour, hopefully less than that. If there are more questions, of course, this will take a little bit longer, but I hope to be able to cover this quickly because these should be rather familiar topics to all of you. But again, you see that as we progress, agreement, tenses, and synthesis will become more and more important and take on more and more weight in your assessment as well as in your learning. Alright, so agreement, synthesis, and tenses are what we're going to be covering. And under synthesis, I will only be dealing with active, passive voice, which comes out very often, its transformation, as well as reported speech, which is again another form of transformation. And active passive voice and reported speech, they are related. Okay, so we're going to go into that. And finally, for tenses, I'm going to focus on the perfect tense and participles. All right, so agreement. All right, I'm sure you agree that agreement is important, right? So by the way, if my hand gestures are distracting you, I will try to minimize the movement of my hands, because some of you tend to kind of make fun of me when I use too much of my hand gestures. So less hand gestures today, okay? So before we talk about agreement, we have to look at the concept of subject, object, and verb. I'm sure you all remember what these labels refer to, right? Okay, so let's go into that. But before that, let me just check on your chat pane again to see if any of you have any questions. Okay, right? Okay, thank you. No questions at the moment. Great. Let's get back to the agreement. So, subject-verb agreement, all right? So, in order to properly check and carry out subject-verb agreement, we need to understand what a subject is, what an object is, and how they interact with the verb. So, take a look. This should be familiar to you, right? The subject initiates or starts the action. So, Jaden Liao tells the class jokes during snack time every day. Notice that Jaden Liao, the subject, agrees with tells, the verb. And the verb tells takes on the S, the suffix S, because one subject puts S, the suffix S, after the verb tell. Now the object in the second sentence over here is the noun that the action is directed at. So in this case, Alison squeezes the pushing toys fiercely. Now, this fellow here is not pushing, right? He's here to monitor your progress and to watch that you concentrate on the video. His name is Pika, by the way, right? Say hello to Pika, right? So, Alison squeezes all the pushing toys fiercely, all right? Alison is the subject. Are the pushing toys the subject? No, right? So the pushing toys or the pushing toy is the object of the action of squeezing. So Alison squeezes. Alison, the subject, agrees with squeezes, the verb. Oh, what is that? Oh, sorry, not so hard, right? Okay, right. So Alison squeezes all the pushing toys fiercely. You'll remember this from term 1, we covered this. So always remember not to be confused between the subject and the object. You must identify the subject, and the subject alone agrees with the verb, not the object. Okay, let me check to see if there are any questions. Oh, right. Hello, Pika. Pika says hello right back. Pika says hello right back. Right, Pika is the newest addition to my little coterie of animals. Okay, righty. Let's continue. What is that? You're feeling lonely? Okay. Let's see who else can join you. Right. Let me see if I can put a little bear right here. I don't know if he fits. Okay, so move right over. Okay. Oh, right. Okay. Right. There you go. All right. Okay. So not lonely anymore. Okay. Right. So let's move on. So to recap, subject-verb agreement. The subject is the person or persons who initiate the action. Jaden Liao is the subject, Alison is the subject, okay? And the object is the person or persons or thing that the action is being done towards, okay? So in this case, Alison squeezes all the pushing dolls fiercely. These dolls or these toys are the object. Alison, oops, right? Now I'm Alison. Alison is the subject, squeezes is the verb, and the pushing toys are the object of the action. All right, I hope you're understanding this very important concept. This concept runs through all of the English language. In order for us to form any coherent sentences, we do need these subject, verb, object relationships. Okay, so again, just remember the subject and not the object agrees with the verb, right? The last example, Jaden Teo, if you're listening, this is you, hugs the Christmas tree fiercely every time he sees it. Now let's take a look at this sentence and just tell me what is the object. And this is your listening skills right now. What is the object of the sentence? Everybody respond. Object. I'll give you a minute or two. Meanwhile, I shall pet my animals. What do you think they're going to say? What is the object of the sentence? Jaden hugs the Christmas tree fiercely every time he sees it. Aha! Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, but no. Yes, but no. Some of you have made a mistake in your response. Can anybody tell me, while you're looking at all the responses, right? Some of you have made a mistake by omitting an important word that is part of the object phrase. Can anybody tell me what you observe from the answers has been left out? Yes, that's right. Remember, the article the and a must always follow and is always married to your noun. So you can't say Christmas tree, you've got to say the Christmas tree because it's in the sentence, the word the. You cannot take the word the away. Very good, well done. So the article the, is actually essential to your subject or object. So if I say the boy, then the subject is the boy. I can't say the subject is boy, right? Because the is part of that subject. The boy, those people, these toys, the, those, these are part of the subject. And that word cannot be omitted from your response. Okay? Yes. No, you can't use the word Xmas because the word Xmas is like a colloquial shortening of the word Christmas, right? The actual word is Christmas. If you shorten it or you change it or you know, like some people call it the SMS language, right? If you use that, then you will be penalized in a formal writing setting. Of course, if you're like messaging your friends or if you are in a more informal setting, you know, you're just writing a little note to remind yourself of like, you know, Christmas, you could shorten it. But remember, in the academic setting, when we are in like a classroom, when we're doing work for a piece of assignment, we can't use shortening or colloquial short forms like Xmas, all right? That's not allowed, okay? It's not a short form. There are some contractions, okay? So we'll deal with contractions in a separate video, but let me continue on now. I'll answer Kaylin and Chloe's question separately, okay? Because I think that is not directly related to what we're covering here. But good question. But let's press on. So subject-verb agreement rule. The subject and not the object agrees with the verb, and we must always identify the correct subject. In this case, Jaden hugs the Christmas tree fiercely every time he sees it. Jaden is the subject, not the Christmas tree. Okay, so the subject and not the object agrees with the verb. Let me move on. Okay, so let's take a look at another sentence. Okay, Joyce helped the mysterious old man, whose name was Reese, cross the road to retrieve his magic umbrella. So Joyce helped the mysterious old man, whose name was Reese, cross the road to retrieve his magic umbrella. So go ahead and respond if you can. In this sentence, tell me the subject, the object, and the main action. I want the main action. I'm aware that there can be more than one action in a sentence, but there usually should be one main action that is done by the subject. Okay, that's linked to the subject. Go ahead and respond. Let me have a look. Okay, tell me everything in one line. So subject, object, verb, or action. Okay, subject, object, verb. Don't tell me separate answers. Okay. Yes. Let's see. Okay. Right. All right. Who is Jared? Okay. Chloe. Chun Hong. All right. Okay. Very good. Well done. Right, I'm looking. Yes. I think most of you have no issues with identifying subject and object. Okay, very good. But let me just correct you on your action. Okay. Right, 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 right. Okay, I'm seeing a pattern here. Many of you are able to identify the subject and the object. It's pretty straightforward. But let me correct you on a few things. Right, let me just allow everybody to respond, and then I will go into the explanation. Okay, thank you all for your responses. It's great to see everyone giving it a try, and I think by and large, most of you are on the right track. But there are a few details that you need to be very, very aware of when you're looking at complex sentences such as the one that I'm showing you right now, okay? Where there are multiple nouns, multiple verbs, and multiple points of, like, interactions between these nouns and verbs. Okay, yes, good questions, all of you. Some of you are asking, are the actions both helped and retrieved? Yes, there are two actions in this sentence, okay? Actually, there are three actions in this sentence, okay? Let me just point them out to you now, okay? So, helped is an action, okay? Cross the road, right? If you can see, helped and cross are actually related verbs, but they can be seen to be two separate actions. Helped, crossed the road, and retrieved is another action, okay? But again, remember I was talking about which the main action is, and if you look at the subject, all right, let's go ahead and look at the answer. Thank you all for trying. All right, Joyce is the subject, so I've used red, and I will continue to use red from now on to denote the subject. Joyce is the subject. Therefore, the main action that Joyce carries out is to help the mysterious man cross the road. So she helps him cross. So the word helped and cross are actually linked as one action. She helped him cross, right? So this is what we call a complex verb phrase, meaning there are two verbs working together but separated by the object in order to convey an idea of what's happening in the sentence. So, helped cross. Again, if you are very alert, you will realize that this structure is something that we just covered 2 days ago. Remember the verb, noun, verb structure, right? Where two verbs are interrupted by a subject or an object in between them, right? So in this case, helped and cross are interrupted or separated by the mysterious old man, right? So the mysterious old man is the object of this sentence. And the name of this mysterious old man was Reese. So that's the additional information that I've underlined, all right? So to be very, very precise, the object of this sentence is not Reese. Well, it is actually, but it's the mysterious old man whose name was Reese. All right? So, subject, Joyce. All right? Object, the mysterious old man whose name was Reese. Verb, helped, cross. Right? This is the main verb that's happening. And back to verb, noun, verb. Do you remember when I taught you in a structure where a verb is followed by a noun, is followed by a verb, or a verb is followed by a noun phrase, is followed by a verb? What happens to the second verb? What form does it take? Let's see. That's right. Great. Exactly. Right? Very good. Thank you. Base form. Wonderful. Okay, so in the subject, Joyce, in the verb, helped, cross, in the object, the mysterious old man, whose name was Reese, we can see the subject-verb-object relationship. Okay? Wonderful. You guys are great. Base form, exactly. Right? So remember, in a verb, noun, verb structure, right, the second verb, all right, in this case, the word cross, is always in its base form, right? The other way a verb is always in its base form is the to verb structure. Remember, to, eat, tell you the second verb is always in its base form without any exception. So be very alert to these structures, right? In grammar, in MCQ, in synthesis, these structures are buried in order to test that you understand how they function. Okay, let's move on. Okay, let's go to the next one. All right, so again, subject is Joyce. She carries out the action. Object is the mysterious man. He was helped. And verb is helped, cross. Okay, so additional information that's added to the verb and to the object, right? V's and why they cross the verb. Okay. All right, so think about this. Based on the sentence we've just observed, what type of word can function as a subject-object, right, in the sentence? What type of word? Is it a verb, a noun, an adjective, an adverb, or a preposition? Right, that's good. Thank you, Chloe. Chloe's got it, hit the nail right on the head. A noun, right? Only nouns can function as subject-objects, okay? No other word functions as a subject-object, all right? Yes, exactly. Here, let me throw you a curveball now, right? So I just mentioned that only nouns function as subject-objects. What happens if I say, singing is my hobby? Isn't singing a verb? Doesn't it function as the subject in the sentence? Singing is my hobby. Singing. What is my hobby? Singing is my hobby. So, doesn't that break this rule? Yes, yes, yes. You used the right word, gerund. Wonderful. So, what's a gerund? Is it a verb or a noun? Yes, yes, Jancis, yes. Zile, yes. Yes, Xavier, yes, Cheryl, yes, Chloe, yes, Junxian. All of you are right. It's a gerund, and a gerund is a noun, right? Excellent. So, if I wanted to use a verb in the subject form, I've got to change it into a noun. And I've got to put a suffix ing to change it into a gerund, right? A gerund is a noun, right? So it doesn't break the rule. Only nouns can occupy the place of a subject or an object in a sentence. No other word form can. And that's the beauty of the English language. If you understand how it functions, you can predict the kind of word that will take that place in a sentence. The subject, object are nouns. And of course, if I go on to the next point, can there be more than one verb in a sentence? Of course, we've just seen that there are multiple verbs, but often these verbs work together in a verb-noun-verb structure, right? They're related to one another. And more importantly, right, they are often related in terms of their tenses, okay? Can you notice that besides verb, noun, verb, because the second verb is in its base form, so this doesn't take on the tense, right? There's another verb in this sentence that follows the tense of helped. All right, helped is in the past tense. There is another verb that I haven't mentioned in this sentence that follows the verb helped. No, not cross. Remember, verb, noun, verb, helped, cross, because it's the second verb is in its base form, so it doesn't follow the tense of helped. Yes, John, was. Whose name was Reese? Okay? Nope. Ah, beautiful. Was is correct, but some of you said retrieve, and retrieve doesn't follow. Doesn't follow. Retrieve is present, or rather, it's not in the past tense. Helped is in the past, but retrieve is not in the past. Why doesn't retrieve follow the tense of helped? Can anyone answer this question? Anyone? Yes! Yes! Shaden. Yes! Exactly. To, right? You see, it isn't by accident that I structured this sentence to include both the verb, noun, verb and the to verb. And I mentioned this earlier, right? That the to verb is another verb form that forces the verb to take on its base form, right? So to forces every verb after it to become the base form. Retrieve is that verb. So retrieve can't follow help because of to. Cross can't follow help because it's a verb, noun, verb structure. But was can because it does not get limited either by the verb, noun, verb or the to verb rule. So was, past tense, follows helped, past tense. Yes, I clap for you. Brilliant. Do you all understand how verbs interact in a sentence? If you can master all these rules and keep them constantly in the forefront of your mind as you look at sentences, you will never make another error in tense. And think about how effective that will make your writing and your responses to comprehension in everything that you do. Even in the words that you say, they follow the same rules. Okay? Awesome. Right? I'm really excited because you guys understand and are now able to apply all these different rules that you've been taught across primary 3, 4, 5, and next year 6. So PSLE and all your assessments are simply out to measure how well you have internalized and are able to apply these various rules. Okay, so today we learned the verb, noun, verb, and how it forces the second verb to be in its base form. We learned about the to verb, to, and the second verb, the verb that comes after the word to, is always in its base form, right? So that controls the verb form, but anything else that's not in these two patterns will follow the verb that's in the main verb, in this case, helped, and was. Awesome. All right, let me move on. Okay, time is running short. Okay, oh, I'm so excited. Right, I hope you guys are learning and you're relearning and you're reviewing and you're recovering what we've learned, not just in term 1, term 2, but also in your previous years in 3 and 4. You will remember I've taught you this, right? So put it all together and you have a beautiful picture of how the English language functions, right? There are exceptions. English is sometimes rather naughty because it borrows from so many other languages, but by and large, these rules apply across different sentence types. Okay, great. Now, synthesis, all right? I'll give you a minute or two, take a short water break, all right? Take some time to think about what I've just covered, drink a little bit of water, take a biscuit or a snack. I'll give you a minute or two to just rest, okay? Because we've just covered some pretty intense stuff. While you're resting in a minute or two, take a toilet break, whatever, I'll entertain any questions or any things that you would like to ask me, right? Even apart from what I've just covered. If there are any questions that you have, please take this time to ask me, okay? Otherwise, if you are going off to visit the bathroom, going off to take a cup of water, please let me know in the YouTube live chat that you are away and when you come back so that I won't kind of let you miss out on the next section. Okay. And incidentally, no worries. I will edit this video so that I can remove some of these parts where we take breaks and we're doing other stuff so that the final video that you watch on Edmodo will be much more streamlined and focused on the lesson content. Yes, I will post this. No worries, just catch what you can. Any bit of learning is better than nothing, so don't worry if you have to step away, just go ahead, it's alright. But remember that I will post this on Edmodo after I've edited it. Not sure why that happened. Block. Right. Okay, please go ahead. Okay, Ziting, I will post the PDF file of all of the annotations and the clues that I've identified to arrive at the answers for the Essay 2 2016 paper by the end of today on Edmodo, okay? I probably won't go through a video to do that because it's going to be quite tedious if you have to watch an hour-long video, right, simply to mark your paper, okay? I think that's not a very effective use of your time. I will make it so that in the PDF file that I post on Edmodo, you'll be able to see my thought processes, like how I identified this clue, why I used it, how I arrived at my answer. So that file should be quite self-explanatory. Then you can go through it at your own leisure. If you got the answer correct, you don't need to review that, you can just skip it. But if it's a video, then you really have to sit through the entire hour and a half while I annotate and do every single question. It's going to be quite tedious, okay? So that's the reason why yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm very sorry. I'm not sure why the connection is poor. All I can say is I found that it's easier to follow the videos when I'm using a desktop, okay? On my right is actually my Apple TV connected to my television, and I'm actually looking at my video, and it seems to be quite okay on my end, right? I'm tracking it. There doesn't seem to be very much disruptions. It's been playing quite smoothly. So it could be your personal home connection. It could be the fact that you're watching off a mobile. That might be a bit choppy at times because the connection signal strength. Oops, I'm sorry, Pika. The connection or signal strength could be weaker. So use a laptop or a PC, right? Oh, okay. Then I'm not really sure. It could be the wireless connection. Maybe try to get closer to your router. Don't sit like 3 rooms or 2 rooms away. Try to move to wherever your router is. That will ensure a much faster connection, okay? Yep. Yeah, well, I can only suggest it could be a connection issue on either end, but looking at my side, it seems to be okay. I don't really see a lot of delays, so yeah, we'll just have to make do. Anyways, if the condition gets too bad and you find that you really cannot follow, no worries, just log off and you can watch the video separately in Edmodo, or if you can endure it and you want to interact with me and ask questions, then stay on, try your best, okay? Right. I'm very sorry if you're experiencing problems, right? We make the best of what we have, okay? All right, I think most of us are back. Right, let me continue. I aim to finish by about 11:30 latest. I started at 10:30 after all of the problems and issues with the technical loading of the program. So I hope to finish by 11:30, all right, latest. But if we can finish earlier, that's even better. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. I will begin now. All right, now let's go on to the next section on synthesis. Okay, I'm just checking on my video that the stream is still live. Great. So synthesis, I'm going to begin with active-passive. It's something that we've recently done, so you should be quite familiar with it. And as I go through it, just remember what we've covered previously about subject, object, and verb, because it's directly relevant, okay? All of what I've just gone through with you is applicable in synthesis, and I'm going to show you how, all right? Everything in English is interrelated. Try not to think of it as separate parts, okay? Comprehension, synthesis, grammar, no, they're all related, okay? So let's look at active to passive, right? If my face blocks the content, please let me know, okay? Right, so transforming an active sentence into its passive form, right? I've taught you this before. Requires two main steps. There could be more depending on the complexity of the sentence, but you have to switch first the subject and object positions. Then you have to change the form of the verb and check that it agrees with the new subject that's taken the place of the old one, okay? So remember the subject-object change place, so the object becomes the subject and the subject becomes the object, right? They switch basically, right? and there I go with my hand actions again. Oh well. Okay, so remember these two steps: subject, object, switch places. Verb changes its form to reflect the active to passive, and the new subject, remember it's taken the place of the old one, must now agree with the verb. All right, let's have a look at an example. So this was from term 1. I will give you some more examples and we will twist this later. Okay, we'll twist it later. What I mean by twist, just continue on and you'll see what I mean. Okay, so Oscar counted the pink flamingos, right? Again, in this case, Oscar is the subject, the pink flamingos are the object, and counted is the verb, right? So if I change the order of the subject and the object, the pink flamingos now become the subject, right? So no longer Oscar, Oscar becomes the object. And I can't leave the verb alone because the pink flamingos counted Oscar violates or breaks rule number 1 of synthesis, which is can't change the meaning, exactly, right? Yes, exactly, Chloe, that's right. All right, thank you, Reese, for not doing that. Okay, so I can't leave the verb alone because that changes the meaning of the sentence, right? It breaks rule number 1. So I've got to change the form of the verb, right? Like I mentioned in step 2 of active to passive, into were counted by. And were counted by is the past participle, the past perfect form of the verb counted, right? Counted, past, simple past. Were counted, past perfect. All right, so again, we are going to cover past perfect later and it's going to be related to this. All things are related, okay? So the pink flamingos were counted by Oscar. I've got to insert the prepositional word by to link Oscar to the action of counting, okay? And now notice that the pink flamingos, the new subject, are many. So many takes on a different verb form, right? It doesn't have a suffix s anymore. So the pink flamingos were counted by Oscar. They were counted by Oscar. All right. So now I promised you some new examples and then a twist. Okay, so take a look at this. Xavier swatted 1,000,000 flies in under 1 minute. Xavier, you're amazing. You can swat 1,000,000 flies in under 1 minute. You're better than the tailor who swatted 7 flies, right? 7 at one blow, remember? Okay, Xavier is 1,000,000 at one blow, okay? So let's try to change this sentence from active to passive form. Remember, subject, object, verb change, and insert prepositional phrase, okay? And check your agreement. Right, follow these points through. Let's have a look. All right, hi John, we are doing active passive voice. Welcome back, okay? No worries, you can always catch up with what I covered later. So we are now trying to passivize or change the sentence that we are currently looking at into the passive form. Yeah? Okay? Correct? Xavier is the subject. Wonderful. 1,000,000 flies. Very good. I love that you added because remember we mentioned just now and the. These are articles that need to follow the subject or the object. Wonderful. Okay? Oh, some of you have gone on to write the answers. Wonderful. Okay, very good. Very good. Very good. Wonderful. Yes. Great. 1,000,000 flies were swatted by Xavier in under 1 minute. And be very careful because those of you who are a little more careless, you know who I'm looking at right now. Queen of carelessness. Queens of carelessness we have in class. Don't miss out in under 1 minute, right? Because in under 1 minute is additional information that needs to be there or the sentence meaning changes. Rule number 1 gets broken. Okay? Yes. Yes. Ziting, be very careful. 1,000,000 flies and not 1,000,000 flies. I mentioned this earlier. The article cannot be divorced or taken away from the subject or the object. 1,000,000 flies. 1,000,000 flies. Okay? Not 1,000,000 flies. Be very careful. That's right. Thank you, Chloe, for spotting that. Great. So let's spot each other's mistakes and let's help each other to be very alert. Okay? Very good. Well done. Great. Very good. Yes. Exactly, Megan, just like the from earlier. You remembered? Easy? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Right? Oops, I'm so sorry. I keep bumping into Pika and Bear. Right. Are you okay? Are you having fun? Are you having fun? Yes. Is Mr. Pang boring? No. Okay, right. I'm just consoling myself. This isn't exactly the most interesting, but it's necessary to review and to help us remember. Oops! Okay, he just fell asleep. I woke him up. It's fine. Ah! Can we omit in? Kaylin. So, a million flies were swatted by Xavier under 1 minute? No, because the preposition in links to under 1 minute, and that prepositional phrase, remember, is pretty important. We can't omit it, okay? So no, we can't, because that will change the structure and it's not very grammatical, okay? Yes, thank you for checking. Very good. So be very careful. Every unit, every word, especially in synthesis, matters. So be very careful, check every single word, check your spelling, check your arrangement of the words to make sure you haven't left anything out, right? Looking at you, queens of spelling and queens of careless mistakes. Okay, let's go. Now let's twist, okay? Let's twist this, okay? Okay, so we've already done this, all right? Yes, the prepositional phrase by, okay, that connects the subject to the verb. Okay, in this case, the subject is a million flies. It's moved from the object to the subject. Were swatted, so remember, this is the new subject, so many flies, therefore were swatted, okay, by Xavier in under 1 minute. Okay, let's twist this, okay? So try the sentence. Qingyi was recruited by the World Banana Federation to be its official ambassador. Congratulations, Qingyi. All right, now ambassador to the World Banana Federation. Please do not bother looking for this organization. It does not exist. Okay, Mr. Pang made it up. So Qingyi was recruited by the World Banana Federation to be its official ambassador. Let's try to change now, because this is in a passive voice, right? How do I know it's in a passive voice? Was recruited, past perfect, by prepositional phrase linking. Okay, subject and object have changed places. Therefore, this is the passive form. How can I change it back to active? This has happened before, right? We are so fixed on changing active to passive, sometimes we forget that we also need to understand how to change it back into active. So now let's try to change from passive to active. Let's see. Ha ha ha, yes. Banana, not bonana. Charlene. Federation is kind of like an organization, okay? Kind of like a, you know, like a business, or you know, a collection of businesses coming together to work together. Okay, yeah. Let's see. Yes, kind of like a community. Yeah. Chloe, you're absolutely right. Great. Okay, just quit this. Yes, the World Banana Federation, right? I change it back. Recruited, very good. So was recruited changes back into the simple past. Recruited. Qingyi, be careful, Reese. It's Qingyi, not Qinyi. Don't change names, right? Yep. To be its official ambassador. Very good. Wonderful. Hello, JJ. I know who you are. Thank you for identifying yourself. Okay, the World Banana Federation recruited Qingyi to be its official ambassador. Beautiful. Great. Okay? So, if you know the subject, if you know the object, and you know the verb, active, passive voice, passive, active voice, it doesn't matter, right? You're able to very easily just switch things up. and get them correct. Okay? Great, Megan. Right? Okay. Yeah, this is all in good fun. Mr. Pang, teases you guys in good fun. I care for all of you. This is all in good spirits, right? Yes. Right. Okay. Be sure to tell Xingyi. Alright. I'm aware of her love for bananas. Very good. Well done. Okay. Right. Watch out for Peter Tan appearing later in the video. Okay? Are we ready? Can we move to the answers? All right. Okay, let's see. All right, so you're absolutely right, of course. All of you are right. I don't think anybody made a mistake. So Qingyi becomes the subject now, right? She was the object. She's shifted. Okay, so now she's the subject again, right? I'm sorry, now she becomes the object. Okay, so the World Banana Federation recruited Qingyi to be its official ambassador. Okay. Notice that in the simple past form, recruited, it doesn't matter whether the subject is singular or plural, right? The past form of the verb, simple past only, right? Not past perfect or past continuous. Simple past does not change even if the subject is singular or plural, right? It's only simple past. If it's past continuous, was recruiting, then it becomes was or were recruiting. If it's present continuous, is or are recruiting, or was or were recruited, is or are recruited. Okay, so only simple past does not need to agree with the subject. Okay, other forms of past tense do. Okay, let's move on. Now, reported speech. This is a commonly it's common to make mistakes in this section, perhaps. Let me put it that way, okay? So I'll give you a minute, all right? All right, okay. Relevance and focus on the lesson today. Thank you. Kaylin, please understand that if you continue with unrelated comments, I will, and I reserve the right to, remove you from the chat. Thank you very much. Okay? Remember that the rest are here to focus. And the rest of us, let's not overreact. I think there's no need to be so, emotional about it. Just a simple stop will do. Okay? Right? And Mr. Pang will take this in hand. So let's continue. Okay? Now, reported speech. So, much like active to passive voice, reported speech also changes the tone of the sentence, right? From direct speech, which is dialogue, into indirect speech, which is its reported form, right? So there are relationships between active, passive, and direct, indirect speech. Everything in English is related, right? Okay, oops, sorry, Pika. Okay, so inserting a speech connector is what you need to do for some of the cases when you are changing from direct to indirect. Okay, I'll give you some examples later to anchor this. Changing the subject and object pronouns is another thing. So there are 4 things you need to do: connector, pronouns, tenses, and adverbs of time. Okay, if there are adverbs of time, you need to change them as well. Okay, so again, we've covered this in primary 4, we've covered this in term 1, and I'm just reviewing this because these are kinds of items, very high likelihood of appearing in assessments and in PSLE, and it's important that you don't make careless mistakes because, like I said earlier, very prone, very common for you to make mistakes in these types of questions, and they appear all over the place, right? In your grammar MCQ, in your synthesis, even in your comprehension, okay? So, an example, Wayne told me, you have to bring Daya to the salon to shave his beard tomorrow. Okay, let's take a look at this example. Okay, so look at the 4 steps. All right, insert a speech connector, insert a speech connector, change the subject-object pronouns, change the tenses, and then change the adverbs of time. Okay, look at the sentence. Wayne talking to Daya. Okay, I'm sorry, shouldn't have done that. Okay, let's see. All right, so let's see. Daya now has a beard. Okay. No, none at all, I'm sure. Okay, one day, probably, they will have a beard. Okay. Again, just as an aside, the reason why Mr. Pang is crafting these examples to include you is to, raise the level of humor and engagement so that you kind of feel like you're involved in the lesson, not just passively listening, but actively in the sentences. So no offense, and at the same time, understand that I'm doing this so that I can draw you in and keep you engaged. Otherwise, it can be quite dry, right? Synthesis, okay? So I'm introducing some funny ideas so that you guys kind of can keep your attention on the important points. Don't get distracted by them, okay? Don't get distracted by them. The main thing is to learn how to properly transform your reported speech, right? Your direct to indirect, okay? Okay, yeah, that's great. Okay, we already have some answers, okay? Again, Jared, let's not overreact, okay? That some response to humor is fine. There's no need to punctuate your sentences with multiple exclamation marks, right? There is no need to do that. If you want your friends to stop, just very politely type, please stop, all right? There's no need to exclamate, all right? That is extreme and over-emotional response, okay? It's okay, I have to teach you guys how to use these proper conventions when you're communicating with each other. I understand you may not be used to or aware of these conventions, but let's be considerate to each other, right? Let's focus on the lesson, and if we need to tell our friends to stop a behavior that's bothering us, ask them politely, right? Please stop. Thank you very much, okay? Okay, Kaylin, please don't pass personal comments. I'm already seeing errors. You're making mistakes. Making mistakes. Please, everybody, pay attention to John's question and make the changes accordingly. I believe, Kaylin, Chloe was trying to type the word beard. Okay, let's not get distracted. Let's focus. Chloe, there are multiple mistakes. Aha. Now you see. Please do not make me put any of you on timeout. Yes, Xavier, that is correct. All right, some of you have already been made aware that there are some changes, okay? So you cannot leave the verb in its original form. Remember, for reported speech, you can break synthesis rule number 2. You have to, in fact, you've got to change the tense, right? So remember, point number 3, you have to change the tenses of the verb. You have to change the tenses of the verb, yep. Okay, so be very aware. Yes, because reported speech is always in the past tense, Chloe, perfect, right? When I'm reporting something, it's already happened in the past. So it's the far past or the near past. So if it's simple past, I change to past perfect, right? So if it's present tense, I change it to past tense. If it's already in the past tense, I change it into the past perfect tense, okay? Yep. Okay, great, perfect. It's the following day, right? Yes, or the next day. Both are acceptable, all right? Kaylin, both are acceptable. Right, so now let's take a look at the answer, okay? Wayne told me that, so that's the speech connector. I, so you changes to I because the pronoun you is the subject that changes from you to I. Wayne told me, therefore I. Have changes to had because remember present to past, right? Present changes to past. To bring, remember this is the same because of the to verb. To bring can't change, verb. Bring cannot change. There remains the same. To the salon to shave his beard. Tomorrow changes to the next day. So as you can see, 4 separate changes in one sentence, right? Very tricky, extremely easy for you to make careless mistakes. So use this as a checklist every time you do direct speech to indirect speech, reported speech, I mean. Okay, use the checklist, make sure that you follow through, check that everything has been transformed, okay, and don't make any careless mistakes, okay? Right, now let's try an example, right? Nothing better than to put it all together and try, okay? So Zile asked Joseph, did you see my pink Lamborghini in the driveway last night? Oh, actually, no, let me change. I don't want Joseph. Okay, hold on. Let me just, did I change this? Yes, I did. I changed it to Jia En. I don't know why I kept it here. Jia En. Okay. And Jia En. Okay, very good. Alright, so no peeking. Right, let's get back here. So Zile asked Jia En, did you see my pink Lamborghini in the driveway last night? Okay. Right, let's take a look. Let's try this out. So remember speech connector. Okay, and be very careful now. This is no longer a statement, it's a question. And if you remember, right, when you change questions from direct to indirect, there's something else you need to do. So we'll see how many of you get this later. Okay, because it's a very common mistake many of you make, and it's very commonly tested. Questions being transformed from direct to indirect speech, reported speech. Okay, try it out. So Zile asked Jia En, did you see my pink Lamborghini in the driveway last night? Okay, so asked, right? It's a question. So now I want to report this question, reported speech. Okay, Genesis? No, Genesis, mistake. Mistake. Kaylin. Chloe, yes. Mistake, because there is a shishi, right? Zile asked Jia En whether shishi had seen. Haha, careless mistake, but otherwise correct. Yes, correct. John, well done. Ziting, you are wrong. Xavier, you are wrong. Junxian, well done. Chunhong, well done. Again, Cheryl, Shishi, did you get that off Chloe? Charlene, wrong. Saw is wrong, right? Let me explain to you in a moment why saw is wrong. Both the night before and the previous night is acceptable. Yes, both are acceptable. The previous night, the night before, absolutely fine. If is also fine. If or whether, both are acceptable. Yes. Yes, very good. Joyce, if she seen, wrong, okay? Wrong, refer to Kaylin's, Chun Hong's, the previous answers that were correct. Megan, wrong, saw is wrong, okay? I'll explain to you why saw is wrong shortly. Okay, Shaden, pink Lamborghini. Lamborghini is capital L because it's a proper noun. If you don't capitalize the L, it is a grammatical error. It's a punctuation error. Last night, wrong, Shaden, because last night is an adverb of time that needs to change. Yes, wrong. Last night is wrong. Okay, you got to change last night to the previous night. Okay. Right. Kaylin, no, there's nothing wrong with your answer, Kaylin, right? It's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Okay. Okay, Jaden Liao, correct. 子乐, be very careful. 子乐, capital L, 加 N, capital E. Okay, yeah, Shaden is wrong, correct. Be careful of your capital letters, your proper nouns. Okay. Yes, she had seen. Correct. Not saw. She had seen. Why is it not saw? Okay, let me explain to you why it is not saw. Okay. Did I ask Chan if she had seen this? Yes. In the driveway. Yes. Jaxis, you are correct. Okay. All right. Now let me explain why not saw. Yes, very good, Joyce. Because of the word did, right? Excellent. Okay, now let me go through. Okay, did you see my pink Lamborghini in the driveway last night? Absolutely, right? So, if she, 加 N, she had seen his, 子乐, his, and did see is already in the past tense, right? So, see is in the present tense, but see and did see, they are together. So, did see, remember? Verb, noun, verb. Can you see how frequently this structure pops up, even in questions? Verb, did. You, noun. See, verb. Verb, noun, verb. Second verb is in its base form. So, did you see? Therefore, did see, they are related, right? These two verbs are related. So, it's past tense. So, did see must become had seen. Okay, that's why your past becomes past perfect. Had seen his pink Lamborghini in the driveway the previous night. Last night becomes the previous night or the night before. Both are acceptable. Okay, so a side note, for questions, subject and verb switch places. Okay. Yes, Shaden. Yes, correct. Okay. Yes, correct. Had seen. Okay. Okay, let's move on. All right, so remember, subject-verb switch places for questions. Be very alert whenever your reported speech involves a question. All right, let me give you an example just to illustrate that, okay? So in this case, right, Jane asked John, where are you? Okay, anyone, please? Answers for this? Jane asked John, where are you? Please, report it. Go ahead and type in your answers in the group chat. Jane asked John, where are you? Yes. Let's let the others respond. Ah, there you go. Kaylin, mistake. Yes, good. Yes, good, good. All of you are correct. Very good, except for Kaylin. Kaylin, please revise your answer. Check with all the rest of the answers and see where you went wrong. Okay, the rest, yes, correct, good. Yes, yes. Yes, exactly, Kaylin, exactly. The verb and the subject must switch places whenever you are reporting a question, right? Where he was. If you write where was he, it's wrong. Okay? Yes. Okay? He was, right? Not was he. Excellent. Okay? So again, let me review. So Jane asked John where he was. If you are saying where he was, then I'm reporting the question. It's no longer a question, it's a statement. Okay, but if I say Jane asked John, where was he? It becomes a question again, which is wrong, right? Because I'm not reporting it as a question, I'm reporting it as what was said. Okay, so if you don't change the order, you will get the question wrong. Okay? Alright, okay, bye Cheryl. I'll be finishing in 5 minutes anyway, alright? Okay, so if you can stick around for 5 more minutes, this is one of the last few slides, okay? Right, so remember, do not forget to change the verb and the noun positions, okay? Where are you becomes where he was, okay? Right, so I'm going to go through this very quickly. Actually, it's just one more slide and then I'm pretty much done, okay? Just to review, we've done this, simple present tense, verb is in its base form, simple past tense, right? Verb is also in its base form, but in past tense base form. This one is what I want to talk about. So we were just doing active passive and reported speech, right? And it deals with the past perfect tense, which is participles. So just to remind all of you, participles are often always tested in grammar MCQ, as well as in your closed passages, as well as in editing, as well as in your synthesis, okay? So be very, very aware of your participles, okay? Just take a look at this. I'll give you a minute to review it. And again, I'll post these slides and the video on Edmodo for you guys to refer to, right? There are two types of participles mainly in the English language, the more common types. The present participle, which is the ing form of the verb, as well as the past participle, which is the ed, en, or the other types, different irregular forms of the verb, right? So, for example, for the ing suffix, right, it's hollering, was gazing, were attempting, these are the present participle in the continuous tense. So, is hollering present continuous, was gazing past continuous, okay? And we've covered in term 1 what present and past continuous is used for and its difference, okay? So the ing suffix for present participles used in continuous tense. Not to be confused with gerunds, which we covered earlier. Remember, hollering is my hobby, so hollering is a gerund. We mentioned that just now. Gazing is a gerund. We mentioned that just now. Well done to all of you to remember. So present participles, ing suffix. Suffix means the part of the word at the end of it, okay? So you add the ing to change a word into a present participle, okay? Past participle, ed, en, or other suffixes. Look at the examples. Is taken, present perfect. Was punched, past perfect. Were sung, past perfect, okay? Not to be confused with the simple past, alright? So the simple past tense of take is took, right? So you notice taken and took are different in form. Punched, punch, same, but they occupy different positions. In this case, this is a past participle. In this case, it's a simple past tense. He punched me, all right? Sang, right, again, different, right? Sang is the simple past. He sang a song, right? A song, many songs were sung, right? So again, don't confuse the simple past with the past participle, okay? At this stage, any questions? Because I'm more or less done with my review for today. I will have a part 2. I will announce the date right now, okay? And we can move on from there, right? No? No questions? Great. Great. Wonderful. All right, last slide. Last slide, just by way of reminding all of you what you need to do and the date and the time for my next live stream, okay? Right. Good, thank you. No questions, just to make sure. Very good. Right, I'm not going to cover this, I'm not going to cover this, I'm not going to cover this. Yes, there we go. Last slide for today, and it's 11:28. Wonderful, I'm coming in to the end of the session. So remember to tune in. The next stream will be on Monday, 12 August, and the time will be the same as today. I will start round about 10 o'clock, and I should finish by round about 11 or slightly earlier than that, okay? 1 hour is the maximum I feel that's effective, so I won't exceed that, okay? Remember, the rest of you, to vote for your favorite story on Edmodo. I have uploaded 9 samples for you, story A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and I. So please go and read all 9, take your time, slowly read them, and vote for your favorite. You only have 1 vote, okay? Vote wisely after you've read all the samples. Please don't vote after you've only read 1 or 2, okay? Read all of them, give them a fair chance, and then vote on your favorite, okay? Closing date is the 16th of August, next Friday, okay? Please vote, okay? Complete your corrections for the SA2 2016, Ziting and various ones were asking just now. I will post the PDF with all of my annotated answers by this evening. So you should be able to do it by tonight. If not, then Saturday. If not, then Sunday. If not, then Monday. You have 3 full days and 1 half night to finish it. Okay, so I think more than enough time, especially with all the help I'll be giving you with my annotations and model answers. Finally, practice paper SA2 2015. Please complete it. I will post the answers to the various sections on Edmodo. Please honestly help me to mark it. I want to say this, please do not modify your answers in order to raise your scores. It's not ethical and it doesn't show the right values, okay? I trust that you will not do that because all of you are interested in your own learning and your growth, right? So remember, these scores are just to help you understand your areas of strengths and weaknesses. The more honest you are with your scores, the easier it will be for me to measure and help you in the areas that you need help in so that you will improve in the long run, okay? So please, let's be very honest with the way we do our worksheets and the way we mark them, all right? I would not want to have to check in on you with this, okay? So that's all you need to do. If there are no further questions, right, that's all I have, all right? So 10 a.m. on Monday, exactly. All right, so for those who didn't tune in today, please help me to spread the word to them that it's going to be on Monday, 10 a.m. I will be covering comprehension and comprehension close. So we're going to go into comprehension, okay? Because these are the 2 sections that in the previous practice paper, the CA2 practice paper and the SA2 practice paper I've just returned to you, you guys did not do very well in. So I'm going to go into some strategies. I'll remind you of some of the stuff that we've already done and I'll introduce some new strategies. Okay, so Monday, 12 August, 10 a.m., 1 hour, comprehension and comprehension close passages. Okay, if you can, please have your CA2 paper 2018 and your SA2 paper 2016 in front of you as I go through the strategies, because I'll be referring to some common mistakes that you made in those papers and analyzing what you can do to prevent them from happening again. Okay? Alright. Thank you very much. I'll see you guys. Bye. If you have any more questions that you would like to chat with me, I'll keep the chat group going a little longer so that you can ask and I can respond via typing, but I will stop the live stream here. Alright? Thank you all very much for paying attention. You guys have been amazing. Thank you. Thank you. You've responded well. You've asked very relevant and good questions, and you've all been on your best behavior today, and I'm really proud of you for sticking it through for an hour, even during your holidays. Okay, I really appreciate it. Thank you all very much. And in the meantime, Ika says bye. Bear says bye. Bye. Okay, bye everybody. Okay, they've been very attentive. Obviously, they're stuffed toys, right? But they've been very attentive, and so have you guys. Okay, so thank you very much. I will see you guys when school reopens on Tuesday. Remember, we are having some guests over from Simmons Secondary. If you have any questions to ask them about secondary school life, about anything, please write it down somewhere in your student handbook and you can ask them. I'll be giving you about 10-15 minutes at the end of the lesson to ask them some questions. Okay, bye. I'll stay around for a minute or two just to make sure that everybody has no questions. Otherwise, goodbye and have a wonderful weekend and happy birthday, Singapore. Right? I'm very thankful that we live in such a safe, harmonious, inclusive society like Singapore. So celebrate, have a wonderful time. Those of you attending the concert and the parade later, take photos, share them with the class. Or if you're watching fireworks, take some photos, share them with the class. Happy birthday, Singapore. It's great. Bye. No worries, chances. Lovely to have you join us today. Bye. You're very welcome.